welcome to our channel again. We are the Amethyst Witches, and today we are talking about the divine feminine.
That's right. And in earth-based religions, the feminine is exalted. We worship and revere the goddess as well as the god, but these are equal entities, and there's no. It would not be considered a patriarchal religion at all.
They're equal.
That's right. And in ancient Celtic cultures, they were actually matriarchal. Where the woman, the goddess, was worshipped more than the god, actually. So yeah, we're gonna just talk about the different phases of womanhood and all the different powerful magical stages that a woman goes through in her life, and how that echoes certain goddesses as well. So we're going to start by talking about the maiden aspect of the goddess and of womanhood. And one of the very famous Greek myths is the Persephone myth.
Yes. Where Persephone, like she's a young maiden, a young beautiful maiden, and she's in this field full of flowers, enjoying herself, picking some flowers. And along comes Hades and says, "Oh, this beautiful maiden, I must have her. I must have her. She must be mine." And he steals her away into the underworld.
That's right. He steals her away into it.
Yeah. And Demeter, her mother, becomes bereft with grief, and she goes and is looking for her daughter but can't find her. So then we have the crone that comes in, Hecate, and she goes into the underworld and brings back Persephone.
That's right.
And so that's where we get the myth connected to the spring, and then Persephone coming back, and then the earth is renewed. Yeah.
Yeah. And wasn't it the tears of Demeter were the flowers that sprung up as a spring as well? There was something to do with that.
It's a beautiful.
It is a beautiful myth. Yeah. And so if you're doing a spring ritual, that could be the goddess that you call in, Persephone, and Hades as her consort.
Yes.
Could be.
Yes.
So it is as the god.
As they got to further into the myth, the Persephone eats the seeds of the
Granite.
pomegranate, and she has to go down to the underworld every season. So she's married to Hades and is fine with that. I think she becomes the queen of the underworld.
Right
into there. So
right.
yeah.
And we have a statue here, Hecate,
Yeah.
with her magical dogs. Now, Hecate is often seen as a triple goddess, representing the three stages of womanhood, which was the maiden, mother, and crone.
Yes.
So she is often known as the three. There are many goddesses that have this triple aspect.
I think Caradwyn does as well.
Okay.
She's also a triple goddess, but she's known more for her mother aspect.
Right.
Whereas Hecate is known more for her crone aspect, the wise, showing the way through the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
So when a woman is a young, beautiful woman on her magical path,
Yeah. We'll show Bridget because she's a maiden as well. You got a maiden.
yes, but also seen as a triple goddess as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, when you're at that first stage of starting to get into your path magically, it's a very fascinating time of your life. And I remember when I was starting to, get into all this stuff, it was so fascinating. And so it still is fascinating, of course, but you look at it with different eyes when you're older than you do when you're younger.
Yes.
And everything is just so exciting and adventurous,
So
new, and yeah, and that's the beauty of it, really. That's the beauty of spring, isn't it? And every year when the blossoms come out on the trees and the flowers start to bloom, and there's that wonder again, that it's always a renewed wonder. And I think that sort of personifies the maiden aspect of womanhood.
Yeah, like the beginning of spring, new life. The flowers are blooming again. that you feel renewed to go and do things. I often think of it as like the beginning of the year, even though traditionally Samhain is the witch's new year. I tend to think of spring as the
I think of it that way too because of the astrological calendar with Aries being the first sign.
yeah.
Yeah, I often think of it that way as well. I mean, yes, Samhain is the witch's new year, but it holds a different energy.
Oh yeah.
A completely different energy. It's the going within. It's going to the dark time.
Yeah. Which
Right?
is more towards the middle of your life.
Right.
Normally.
Yeah.
In a woman's life. You can get there at that phase much later on.
Right. And I just wanted to also mention that in the maiden aspect, the very first magical thing that happens to a woman is that she starts to get her moon bloods, her menstruation. And that is tuning in with the cycles of the moon.
Right.
So that's very goddess energy right there.
No, definitely.
Right?
And blood magic is a huge thing.
Blood magic. Yeah. And that's actually to consecrate your tools. That's right. So save that stuff. Don't throw it out. And another thing is not to think of your moon time as something dirty or awful or your emotions run high when you have premenstrual syndrome and that's because you are tuning in to the energy of the moon. And and maybe it's a time that you want to be a little more quiet or you want to be a little more withdrawn and that's okay. That's all right. We can't always be extroverts all the time, that's for sure. Yes. So then we move into the mother aspect. And in the tarot, the mother aspect, and in the maiden aspect would be represented by the high priestess, right? Right. She keeps that scroll secret under her arm and she is intuition. She is the starting of the intuition. But then we get into the mother aspect, and in the tarot, the card that represents the mother is the Empress.
Mm.
And in many it represents, yeah. And she's sitting in a beautiful garden, and she's wearing a crown of stars, and there's wheat at her feet, and it's just so. She's pregnant often in many cards, and she's impregnated with life, just like the mother goddesses, like Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
And what were some of the mother?
Well, we have Isis. Yes, or Isis. We probably seen the statue of Isis with her child. It was very much like Mother Mary and Jesus,
right? Right.
So she's famous for being a mother, going and using magic as well to get her child. That's early.
Yeah. So she had to reassemble her husband Osiris, who had been cut into 14 pieces by his evil brother Set. And she had to use magic to resurrect Osiris, and then he impregnated her. But he had to go away and be part of the land of the dead, right? He couldn't stay with her. So she gave birth to Horus, and then Set tried to kill Horus a million times over. But you can't. One thing about a mother, she will fiercely protect her child. Don't you dare come near.
Fierce protection.
Yes, fierce protection and nurturing, and but I wanted to also mention that we often hear of the maiden mother crone, and surely enough that those are three aspects of the goddess. But I would like to introduce a fourth aspect of the goddess, and that is the queen phase. So we go maiden, mother, queen, crone. Okay, because you don't jump from being a mother with young children right to an old lady. It doesn't pop in like that. A lot of important stuff happens. Actually, exactly, right? And so after you've raised your children and they've grown, there's a period of time for a woman where she enters her sovereignty, and she is wise, and she's learned a lot of things, and she's more confident. Like I notice a huge difference, from my 20s and 30s to my 40s and 50s, where my confidence has really grown. And I stand in my truth a lot more, and I don't just bend to what other people want me to be.
Yeah, you start to figure out, okay, what do I really want to do? We talked about that back in the maiden. This is when you start rediscovering yourself and decide, what do I want? That's right. Instead of having to do everything for others as a mother needs to do. That's your job, is to take care of everybody when you're a mother. But then you get to being a queen, then you start to discover your sovereignty and what do I want? Exactly. That I'm getting near the end of this cycle of taking care of everyone. Now, what do I want?
Right now it's about me.
Caitlin is a good example of that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but Herodwin with her magic cauldron. Yeah.
Yes.
Have Alwyn, which hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah. Knowledge. And she brews this cauldron for a year and a day, which I'm pretty sure is where Wiccans get the trying is out. Yeah. And it becomes this secret knowledge called Alwyn. And this helper that is watching the cauldron. Well, he sneaks and gets those three little drops.
Oh, I thought a bubble came in it.
Yeah, like gets on his lap, his thing, and he licks it. And he has all the secret knowledge. Right. So he's stolen it from Caradwen, who is brewing it for her son. Right. And then it becomes a chase. There's transformation involved, which the cauldron also represents a lot of transformation. Sure, kind of goes along with that. Yeah. That the whole thing, being a queen, is that you're transforming from one, what you thought of yourself before and going into crewhood.
Right. Well, we're always being reborn. We're always dying and being reborn. Right. Right. So the chase ensues where Guion, who is the young lad who is watching the cauldron, and he gets the three drops on him. And then Caradwen is so mad because he's gotten this knowledge and it was meant for her son, right? It was, compromised so much. So anyways, then he turns into a hare, and then she turns into a greyhound, and she chases him. But then he dives into a stream and he becomes a salmon, and then she dives in and she becomes an otter, and she chases him. And it ends up, the chase goes on and on, but it ends up that he changes himself into a grain of wheat, and she changes herself into a black hen and eats the wheat. Yeah. But then she realizes she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now she's back to being a Caradwen again. She's birth to a child, but she says she's so mad because it's Guion, right? She's giving birth to, but she hates Guion, so she thinks, I'm just going to throw him in the river. And then somehow she ties him into a sack, she puts him in the river, and he's discovered by this prince. And the prince opens up the sack, and this beautiful child is in there. And the child starts reciting poetry. It's a funny story. But anyways, the child becomes the bard Taliesin, and the most famous bard of all. So yeah, it's a pretty story.
It reminds me of the whole Isis, and in Horace story, like you get this magical child from this journey that you have to go through.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. So anyway, in ritual, a lot of times we will call in the four winds for each direction. So we'll call in for the east, and we'll call in Eurus, and he's to be represented as a young boy child. And then you go to the south and you call in Notus, Lord of Fire, and he's supposed to be a young, strong man, in his early 20s. Then you go to the west and you call in Zephyrus, and Zephyrus is supposed to be this middle-aged man with a full beard, and and that's the west at water. And then finally you go to the north, and it is represented, you call in Boreas, and he is the old wise one, the old wizened man with the long white beard. And so you have the four stages, but these are male stages. So, that could be done with goddesses too. You could call in Persephone or Bridget as your spring maiden.
Yeah.
And then you could go to the mother aspect. It could be Demeter, or it could be Gaia, or it could be any of the mother, Isis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or you could, some people like to keep the pantheons the same. Like, oh, if we're going to call in Greek goddesses, we're going to do all Greek, or it's going to be, But anyways, I don't think that has to be a rule. Some people like to do that, and that's fine. And all the power to them. But, you can mix this up as well. And then if you went to the West, you could call in one of the queen goddesses. And we were saying Demeter also could be that, because she is the goddess of agriculture. And the Celtic one is Grian, and she is also the goddess of agriculture and the autumn, right? And then as you got to winter, then you'd be calling in one of the crone goddesses. The Kaliak. Oh, the Kaliak. Okay, so yes, and now we've gone over those 4 stages, but we have not talked about the Kaliak yet. So the Kaliak is a fierce old hag of winter. She's got long nails that she's cut an eye right in the middle of her forehead. And she sculpts the terrain with her hands. And anyways, the Kaliak is a fierce goddess. She reigns over storms. She represents waterways, lakes, rivers, streams, and she is, the fierceness of winter. That is a thing, right?
Yeah, you think of the harshness of winter, and you're riding it out. You're trying to, especially here in Canada, I'm trying to get to the to just get ways to get to spring.
And it head fakes us a lot. It's still doing it. It's still cold out in May. My God. Anyways, yeah. So the Kaliak, she is, she also is a very, very magical goddess who holds a lot of secrets. Because what I was saying to you earlier, Mary, was how we all have to go into this dark time to be reborn in the spring.
Yes.
Every new life comes from something that has died, right? And that is the beauty of paganism, is that you see that there really is no death. There's just a going within and then a bursting forth.
Yeah. We celebrate all, stages of life.
We do.
From the beginning to the end. It's all sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from the end comes a new beginning.
Yes.
Right.
And repeats. Yeah, heck, the wheel of the year.
Exactly. And as witches now, in this day and age, we have every reason to celebrate being women and being a part of a religion that celebrates women, because there was times in the past where it wasn't so.
No.
And in fact, if you were a woman who knew herbology or were a midwife or anything like that, you could be accused of witchcraft and killed.
Yes.
And you might not even be a witch.
No. You weren't.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing too is, like, I remember someone saying to me, or I heard this a lot, well, don't you feel like it's evil to be a witch or something? It's like, no. Why would I think it was evil?
Yeah.
To worship the earth? This beautiful place I live on? Our home? Yeah, to practice making herbal remedies? To worship the goddess? Like, what's evil about that?
Nothing.
To celebrate womanhood? And the beauty of birth? Right?
I think we lost our way, definitely, for a long time. When humanity going through, the dark ages, and even now, where women just are not celebrated. They're second citizens. Yeah.
Okay, but it has been that way. I do feel now that power of the goddess is rising. And women are speaking their truth, and women are getting paid equal to men. And, the goddess is being worshipped, and it needs to be more so, because we can't let patriarchy rule any longer. This world is in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to mention, because we were talking away and sometimes we get going, and I did want to say that Deleth is the Hebrew letter for the Empress card, and it means a gateway, a door. Okay. And a woman is the gateway for life.
Yes.
Right. And the earth, our beautiful planet, Gaia, is a gateway for life, you know, and it needs to be revered and it needs to be protected. And so as pagans, like anything we can do to protect wildlife, to, you know, when you go on a walk, bring a garbage bag, clean up trash. Like if there's anything you can do to help the world along, the earth along, I just feel like if we give, it will come back to us in riches. I don't mean money. I mean in riches of spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So
caring for the earth, you know, is going to come back in multiple ways. Yeah, is that for your children, grandfather,
right? Your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. Yeah. And we just wanted, have a few statues here that we wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, like we say, you know, Isis well, I guess I should start with Bridget.
Yeah.
Bridget is the maiden goddess, where, you know, the theme of the bride comes from. Yeah, it's in her name, Bridget, Bria.
Celebrated on February 1st in bulk.
Yeah.
And that's why she is pictured here with little lambs.
Lamb.
Because it's a milk festival, actually. Like, it's when the lambs start to be born and the sheep start to produce milk. So, yeah, in bulk.
And then we go on to the mother goddess, Isis. Yeah, you know, there's Demeter, Isis, all those sort of mixed about the mother. And then we go into the queen here with Caradwyn. I think the Morgan would probably fit it. This is the Morgan. Yeah, that was the
Morgan. Yep.
And she's the goddess of war, I believe.
Yeah, she's a war goddess.
Yeah, within the Celtic pantheon.
Right.
And you know, that queen of coming into your own power.
Yeah, coming into your own power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And witches will often use the Morgan if you're seeking like power. That's the one to call on. And then we go into the Chrome stage with Hecate, who is the wise one leading us through the darkness.
We don't have a Kaliak statue, John, but we also mentioned as a queen.
Yes.
Caradwyn.
Caradwyn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the mother with the knowledge.
Yeah.
The sacred knowledge as well. Yeah, and then the Kaliak, which I don't have a good statue for, but that doesn't mean that, you know. Yeah.
Baba Yaga is another. Oh, Baba Yaga. Yeah, she's a sort of like the Eastern European Kaliak.
Yeah, she lives in the woods. Yeah, in this little hut on chicken feet. Love them move around. I have a longer story, but I love it. And she flies in a mortar and pestle.
Oh, does she? Oh, she right.
Flies around the forest in the village.
Yeah.
And also is a goddess that's attached to wisdom.
Great.
Well,
right.
Because she will test the heroes. She'll have like some sort of test that they have to go through, okay, to get the knowledge. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and I was going to say that the Norns, in Scandinavian mythology, like the Poetic Edda and all that, they're these old wise women who sit around a cauldron, and they are the weavers of fate, right?
The three fates.
One of them is spinning the thread, and the other one's weaving it, and
yes,
yeah. So they're pretty interesting too. They'd be kind of related to the Kaliak, I would think.
Yeah,
the cauldron and the spinning and all that kind of things.
And and in the three fates can also be described as the maiden, mother, crone, the three sisters. Yes, you know, the same thing. And then they're, you know, the one with the scissors,
right?
That cuts the fate. So they get to decide, and what happens to you.
Yeah,
which was in Shakespeare's,
right?
Yeah, back on the Three Witches.
Oh, right. Or that? Yes.
is the goddess of the witches. If you want to learn witchcraft and further your journey, then working with Hecate is probably the best goddess.
Sure, but you could work with any of these goddesses.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Certainly in Thelema, Isis is a very powerful goddess, and in Welsh traditions, it would be Caradwyn or Brigid. So
yeah, no particular god is not higher than the other. I think of Hecate as specific to the witches,
yeah,
because she also has the keys, like the mysteries, that is for a door to, the other realms and that sort of thing. So she's kind of like, is able to lead you into the unknown, which you think of witchcraft and the occult as the unknown, basically, when you want to further that study.
definitely. And I know we had just seen Stevie Nicks in concert.
Oh, yes.
I think you guys got your Stevie top on. I was going to wear mine today too. She is the queen.
Oh, yeah. Or see her on that runway just recently.
Oh, isn't she amazing?
Like,
wow.
I gave me the sugars to see her like that.
Yeah.
Think of all the different phases of Stevie Nicks. She's a good representation.
But we were talking about how she's been paying homage to her patron goddess, which is Rhiannon, the Welsh goddess of the horses, right? Rhiannon of the birds, I think she's also called because of that, the Branwen story. But yeah, she has been singing to her goddess, which is Rhiannon, all these years. And even the song has gone through different phases and lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
It's evolved with her. So that's quite fascinating.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And if you get the chance to see Stevie, do it. Do it while you still can. That's what I got to say, because she is just a magical, magical lady. And I saw her back in the 80s. When, back when it was Stand Back was the big song,
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to see her now in her almost crone aspect. Well, I wish she would get crone this one. She's quite a beautiful girl, but no kidding. I'm about that good on her age. But anyways, yeah. Yeah. So we were just talking about, how she kept paying homage to her goddess all through her life. And so that often happens with witches, where they'll identify more with one certain goddess than another.
Mm-hmm. When I first started, it was Bridget that came to me. Like the first goddess I really sort of seemed attached to was Bridget. And then I was really interested in Caradwyn for a while, and now it's Hecate. So it's like, it's a cycle.
Yeah, and maybe as you go on, it'll be a different goddess. Yeah, so that can happen too. It doesn't always have to be the same.
Yeah, you don't have to pick one goddess and stay with that goddess forever. Like you can, offer all of them different things at different seasons. That's right here.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. We said we were going to wrap it up. Now we think we really said it's getting 30-minute mark. Yeah, thanks for tuning into the Amethyst Witches, and let us know what goddess you resonate with at this time in your life, because we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear what stories you have. How about that?
Well, like and subscribe, and please follow us on all the socials. There's Amy's got a band page under Rowan Tree, and I have Instagram and TikTok, and I promise to try and post more on those with little snippets of us. So and that's under Merry Morning or the Stitch Witch. You might find me, and that's up.
Great. Thanks for watching. Blessed be.
Yeah, blessed be.